Hello and good morning.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the couch, everybody.
Hi.
Nice to see you and be here together with all y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get into a couple
Welcome.
unfiltered moments. Do you want
Yeah.
to start?
Sure. Well, I had a fantastic day yesterday. Speaking of self-care
Oh, yeah.
on our other episode.
Yeah. Were you inspired? Is this why this happened? Or was
So
it accidental?
I had a day off that I took off for an appointment, for an all-day event appointment that canceled. And so I decided to treat myself that day. I decided to not book clients that day, but instead do a really nice little vacation day for myself.
I just have to say that's hard to do and well done. Like you
Thank
could
you.
have easily been like, no, I should be productive. No, I should.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, yeah,
Yeah.
what could I do?
My body was feeling it. I was feeling a little worn down and like it was time. Haven't taken some time off. Yeah. And
Good.
so, yeah, it started off with a sauna. So I went to this place that just recently opened in Forest Lake. It's called Reset. And it has infrared saunas and red lights. I did that.
Beautiful.
Followed by a facial.
At the same place?
No, a different place, but like kind of like super close, like half a mile away. Followed by a really yummy lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was lovely. Sat by the water for a little bit, just like mindfully watched the trees and the water. And then I got home, spent some time with my family, and it was my son's idea that we go mini golfing. So we went mini golfing. And then the day ended with a massage that I had at 7 p.m. So,
oh my gosh.
Supreme. Yeah.
Seriously.
That was amazing.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Well done.
I'm feeling good.
Oh my gosh. Did you sleep like a baby?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really hard to get up this morning.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh my gosh. I'm just thinking of like all of those toxins that were released and cortisol out of your body. Like, yeah.
It was a dream.
So good.
Okay. It was amazing.
How do you get more of that?
I don't know. It would be ideal to do this like once a month, but that would be the dream. But maybe every couple months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, we were just talking about what like self-care, what we think it looks like versus the regular everyday. That was one of those think it looks like.
Yeah. So obviously we can't do this every day and all the time, and we wouldn't expect anyone to, but sometimes we take a day to just treat yourself.
Oh my gosh. Well, what did you learn? Is there anything that you were like, gosh, I really have a new awareness around? Yeah.
Well, actually, I like to do these days. So sometimes we can feel like, oh, it's selfish, or it can be kind of like, like a treat or a waste of time or whatever. But I often think of those days as a part of work, especially when we are entrepreneurs or when we are therapists, because we are the thing that's providing, all the work. So it helps to clear your mind. It helps the creativity to come back on and helps you to think differently. So I love to take that time to just really clear my mind and then spend some time with a journal. So I did that at the end of the day, and I just wrote down all the ideas that came up for me, all the clarity that came to me. So it can actually turn into a little productivity hack.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm thinking of, not that you said you were stuck, but like the visual that's coming to me is just like flow.
Yeah.
Like you were able to release some things and then, get back to a creative flow.
Yeah, for sure.
And energetic. So
I feel more flowy.
Love it.
I'm ready for you guys.
Right. Here she comes. Look out for Kamila. Okay. Right on.
What's yours?
Well, gosh, now I'm thinking like, I need to plan a day like this. It's required.
Let's do it together. Have like a retreat.
That's even better. I love that.
That's what I was missing. I'm in the sauna. I want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
But it's also good to have time to reflect.
Be with yourself. Okay, my unfiltered moment. I had a great weekend full of music, and I attended the Minnesota Yacht Club Festival with some of my dearest friends, and yeah, that just really, really filled up my cup. And I haven't done anything like that. Honestly, the last show I'd been to was in March, Brandon's, which was so, so fun. But I love live music, and I just kind of always forget or feel like it's like almost like a luxury type thing too. But every time I'm in that space, it's like, gosh, I need more of this in my life.
Yeah. What does it do for you?
Oh, just like being really present, I think.
Yeah.
Not thinking about really anything else besides the people that I'm with, the music that I'm hearing. Some of it, though, brings me back because the bands that I saw, All American Rejects and Matchbox 20,
Oh, fun.
like nostalgia to the max. So that was kind of fun too. Hot AF. It was Saturday. Friday was like the hotter
like
day.
100 degrees. Yeah.
Only high 80s.
Oh, what's up?
Friday was nearing 100, I guess. But yeah, just hot as can be, and also sweaty. I think I was kind of reflecting with my friends of how the times have changed. Like, we were all really responsible with our hydration, with our outfit choices, with our sunscreen. Yeah.
That is a sign of
maturity.
Yeah.
Yep. They had misting tents and all kinds of hydration stations, which was awesome, but like zero shade. And I mean, they can't do anything about that at the venue. But yeah, I found myself like, okay, how do I take care of myself and also have a good time? And just reflecting back, yeah, it wasn't too many years ago where that wouldn't have really been my focus. It'd be like, have a good time and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe get some sun, enjoy some drinks, enjoy the music, and like kind of disregard what it is that I might need. So
it's a sign of growth.
It was a growth moment.
Self-care.
Yeah.
That's another.
That's right. Caring for oneself. Absolutely. So
how do you want to see more music? How do you think you want to incorporate more of that now knowing?
That's a great question. I think I've been more apt to like think of bigger shows and concerts, but like maybe it's just attending little things, even like midweek. Like, it doesn't have to be a thing that takes up the whole weekend, but like, how do I pop into smaller venues and smaller bands and stuff that are just as fun?
Well, even like dinner and music, like how that cute little place on Marine on St. Croix.
Yeah, Brookside.
Yeah,
they do
if you're
some
in the
great
area,
music.
yeah.
Have you ever been to music there?
No, but somebody told me.
Yeah. We've lived there for a couple years now and have never made it. So
somebody told me it's very good. People love it. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that too. It's like Saturdays. So yeah, maybe that's a goal before the end of the music series, which is maybe like September, October.
You can even bring the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
It's a goal for all of you too.
Yeah.
If you like music.
I mean, who doesn't like music? But there are some people in my life that are not big like concert goers. And also, yeah, maybe it's like a dinner and a music type thing. Yeah, just good for the soul. So anyway, what else is good for the soul is
love.
Thank you. Love. All you need is love.
All you need is love.
Yep.
Yeah. But sometimes
it's
hard. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to come by.
How do you find it? How do you find it in this modern dating age that we're in? I don't think people are meeting at the grocery store anymore in the produce aisle, or I don't know. How else did people used to
people
meet?
dream of it. Yeah. I
People
mean,
want that.
in school or like on the street or at a coffee shop or anywhere, at a bar. Yeah. People dream of that. People tell me often, like clients tell me very often, they wish they could meet someone out in the wild and they're like hoping for that.
Yeah.
And we talk about, okay, you can continue to try to do that. And I wonder if it would be possible to pair that with an app, because the people that are out in the wild and are single are most likely on the app too. So it's like, let's kind of increase your
odds, your chances.
Yeah.
I love that you say out in the wild. That is the term that I use and hear a lot too. And it does feel kind of wild out there, because you have to be really vulnerable to put yourself out there, to be in an like mental state where your energy shows that you're open to conversation, to meeting people.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It is not easy.
And then come all of these little nuances with it. And we'll have a really fun episode today because we're going to talk about all of these fun, ridiculous terms that have been coined when it comes to dating, and then unpack how they impact us and how they impact our well-being, mental health, and relationships.
Yep. Some of these were really new to us. Some of them we've heard. And we'd love to hear from y'all if you have any other terms that we're missing that we should be talking about.
Yeah, or if any of these came as a surprise.
Yeah, or if you've experienced any of these.
Yeah.
There are so many moments in these conversations, Kamila, where it's like, gosh, I wish we were live. I wish we could like have people interacting with us here and now.
Yeah, right? Put a pin in that because I was actually in our new space. I was imagining doing a live recording. Yeah. We'll have enough room for that. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so
a live recording coming to you from Eloise. Yeah.
One of my sisters has gotten behind on episodes and she's been like binging them lately. And she's like, I wish I could just talk to you guys. Like I have so much I want to say back to you. And I'm just like talking to myself in my car. So Lisa, this might be for you.
Lisa, leave us a comment.
That's right. She'd have to get on Instagram first, probably.
Or you can leave us comments on Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah, there are ways to do it. We're always saying leave us a comment, but we probably should clarify like, yeah, there are different ways. Or get in our DMs.
Yes. Also get in our DMs.
Pod on Instagram.
I don't know. Email us.
Talk to us in the wild. Knock on our door.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, we're going to get into this. Okay, zombieing is our first term. What comes to mind? Like we all know ghosting. But zombie.
Well, maybe we should talk about ghosting first. For anyone who doesn't know, what is ghosting?
Ghosting is like maybe you had a date or two with this person and you follow up, you feel like you had a great time, and all of a sudden they're gone. You can't reach them via text. Maybe they stand you up on a date. You're supposed to get together. Like they have disappeared.
Yeah, they are a ghost.
Be dead. They are gone. It's like nothing ever happened and they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very troubling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Closure, I think, is something that we all crave. I think some of us can tolerate lack of closure or maybe not as clear of a closure more than others. But I think everybody really does crave knowing, like, where do I stand with you? You know? So, yeah, ghosting is hard. Zombieing, though. Or do you have more to say?
Well, I was thinking with ghosting, a lot of people, it's kind of like that Irish goodbye also, where to soothe ourselves, we want to ghost. It's like, it's really hard to say goodbye or to say, I'm not interested or this isn't, working for me. But it's a service for yourself and the other person. Yeah. So oftentimes when people are feeling drawn to ghosting someone, we have a conversation about, okay, what is that about? Why do you feel like you want to ghost, and what would it look like to just say,
Right. State your truth.
Yeah. And we can say it like, hey, this just isn't working for me. And it was nice meeting you. And it can be as simple as that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just feel like we're not aligned. We're not on the same page. We're not looking for the same things.
It's really nice to meet you. Thanks.
Yeah. I wish you well.
Yeah. And if someone has like a big response to that, then you don't have to engage with that anymore. It can, you said what you need to. Right. You've set a boundary.
Right. So that is the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's back to one of my favorite Brene Brown quotes, clear is kind.
Yeah.
Letting people know so they're not wondering and continuing to
spinning. Yeah.
Do I reach out again? I don't know. Just, clear is kind.
And for the person that has been ghosted,
right,
to really do some self-soothing, right? So that might look like, okay, so I followed up maybe once or twice. I haven't heard back. And our mind can really easily go into creating all of these stories and, following along those stories and all of the paths they will take us on. And so to just recognize, okay, that's not helpful for me.
Right. And thinking too, when you talk about all of these stories,
Mm-hmm.
I'm full of these little phrases today, but like
Yeah.
you've heard of when we make assumptions, it makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we do make these assumptions if we don't have the information. And these stories that we tell ourselves are typically rooted in our core wounds, right? So if it's
Yeah.
I'm not good enough, I don't belong wound that you carry around, this stuff is going to kick that up and reactivate that and deepen that story that like, yep, see, here again, it's about me. I'm not worthy. I
Yeah.
don't belong here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so it makes me think of when we go down the path of telling ourselves those stories. What I often talk to clients about is one, okay, it's not helpful for me to go there. But then, it also makes me think of Brene Brown and authenticity. If maybe I didn't show up authentically, I didn't like how I showed up because I was hiding parts of myself, then what is that telling me? And how could I do it differently next time? Or or if we did show up authentically and that wasn't received, to recognize, okay, I did show up authentically. I did my best, and that wasn't my person, and that's not about me, because the person that is my person will love those parts, will accept those parts, will like jive and thrive with that. So to tell ourselves either like, okay, what do I wish I could have done differently? Or okay, I did do my best and I did show up my best and how I want to, and I need to find a person that really resonates with that.
Yeah. So is this context kind of reflecting back on if a relationship ended or didn't work out, and you're reflecting back on
or we got ghosted,
who you were,
yeah,
or you got ghosted,
I think of it with either
a
relationship ending or we get ghosted. Well, that is a relation, even if it's a date or two, it still hits, because it's rejection,
right?
And rejection is really painful.
Yeah, and even if it ends amicably, if it ends well, it's still like the pain is there. And so reflecting back on, how you showed up.
So if we get ghosted or if we get Caspered. So
Caspered.
The friendly ghost.
Let's roll with that. Oh my gosh. Caspering. Okay. More like a soft exit with an explanation instead of silence. Okay.
So is Caspering like, it's not me, it's you? What would be a kind ghosting?
Soft explanation. The timing for me just isn't really great right now.
Sure.
It's just a timing thing. I've got a lot going on. I'm pretty busy right now.
Oh, these hurt my heart.
like imagining receiving those things.
Because I imagine a situation in which you get really excited about someone and it feels like it was working and it was going really well.
Yeah.
But then you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, there's that urge of like, but we could make it work.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, another example of caspering and feeling like, so there is still the ghost aspect, but it's a friendly ghost. So yeah, maybe they are gone. You had a great date. There was an after text and let's get together sometime. And then it's like crickets for a long time. But then they say like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like my grandma died. No, maybe she did, but my grandma died. Work was just crazy. I will follow up with you like when the time is right or something. Just like we've ghosted. We're being nice about the fact that we ghosted. There's some kind of an excuse, but you never do follow up.
Okay. Yeah. So you never do follow up, or if you do follow up, then it goes into one of the other ones.
Then it goes into the others.
Gosh, you could have a whole
I know.
situation of all of them. So then maybe they turn into a zombie.
Yeah. Okay. So the zombieing, it's exactly what it sounds like. Somebody who ghosted you resurfaces out of nowhere, usually with a casual, hey, stranger, like nothing happened. There's like a flavor of gaslighting in that too, right?
Oh my gosh.
Like it never happened. What do you mean? What do you mean?
These are creating visceral reactions in my body, even though I have not dated since 2014.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of it too is so parallel with, it's all attachment work.
It is.
And so it has you, I don't know, it has me thinking about like my primary attachments and other people, their experience and how dating kicks that stuff up.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
And that's why it feels so awful.
Yeah.
Because it touches on attachment wounds.
Right,
It touches
right.
on all of these other, origin wounds.
Yeah, dating's hard.
Yeah.
Dating is hard. So zombieing. I've definitely heard these stories in my office before.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. And then what are you supposed to do with that?
So let's imagine the same person. So grandma died.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they take that break. And then out of nowhere, like months later, you've moved on with your life. You've kind of like
grieved that.
Yeah. You've taken the time and suddenly they're like, "Hey, stranger."
Oh my gosh.
Whew. You take a breath.
Absolutely. What's coming up for me is like the woman asking herself, like, can I open myself back up? Can I trust? Like I really did enjoy this person. I would like to give it a solid chance. And that really hurt. Can I open myself back up to that potential pain again?
Yeah.
You know?
What sequence of questioning would you guide that person through? Like to ask them or to ask themselves to recognize, do I dive in? Because I think that's the question, right? Do I dive back in? I really like this person. Do I give them a second chance? Their grandma did die.
Yep.
Did they? I don't know.
I think a couple things. I think it's even before that, I think I would guide somebody toward take your time with this. They've been gone for a long time. You do not have to text them back right away. Please don't text them back right away.
Yeah.
Take some time. This is, even if you are excited about it or anxious about it, this is not an emergency. Take a couple of days at least to digest this. So that's one. Take time. Get quiet. Get quiet. Go on a walk by yourself. Go on a drive by yourself and really check in with what your intuition is telling you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we hear a couple different things. It's like my intuition says one thing, my head says another, my heart says another. Okay, well, maybe you're not ready to dive back in yet till you have a little more clarity. The third thing I would say is be direct with this person. And you can do that in a tactful, kind way. It might be like the emotional sandwich. We might have like that Oreo cookie we talk about, like the chocolate part of the Oreo is like, gosh, it's great to hear from you. I really enjoyed all of our dates. And I hope you're doing well. The Oreo cream, that's like where we say the harder thing. I gotta be honest with you, when you disappeared like that, I assumed you weren't interested. And I was really bummed out because I thought we really had a good thing going here. And then that Oreo cookie again might be, could we grab a coffee and go on a walk and kind of see where things take us? I really did think we had a chance here to, really enjoy each other. Would you be open to that? Like you set the boundary. You set the boundary. You don't just, they ask you to jump and you say how high. Like the ball is in your court. The power is back in your hands. That's where I would go.
So direct and saying like, hey, this is how this impacted me and this is how I hope that things can be in the future. Right. And if that person like has a big response to that or doesn't respect that, I think that's some information for you too, because like, okay, would I want to be in a relationship with a person that has this kind of response? Like what kind of response would I want from my ideal future partner?
It's an opportunity. Like they're showing you their true colors in a lot of ways.
The other thing I think of, I love that you said take that pause before responding. That's such an important part because it can be so dysregulating to our nervous system to out of nowhere receive a text like that. So let's say you're sitting at work or you're going through your day and suddenly you receive that, your heart starts racing, your stomach drops. Yeah, it's a classic fight or flight response. And so the classic fight or flight response, what it tells us is urgency, life or death, all or nothing, this or that, black and white.
Totally.
So it tells us I need to respond immediately, like, hi. And then it's like, oh, shoot, I didn't think about this. So to set it aside and what does it look like for your body to feel calm? And at that point, then, yeah.
Totally. I love that you're bringing it back to the body and the nervous
Mm-hmm.
system and, yeah, polyvagal theory. Okay, Kamila, along those lines, that vein, how would you know that your body is ready to respond? What do you
Yeah.
think would be happening that tells you, okay, I'm safe to interact, engage with them?
Mm-hmm. So a good practice is to think about, what does my body feel when
Yeah.
I'm calm? So
Yeah.
what can I access more of that like intuitive, grounded part? What does that part say? So does my body feel a little bit more rested, a little calmer? Like, can I breathe a little bit smoothly? Can I think a little bit more clearly? Each body is different, but how do we know that our body is in that calmer, grounded space versus in that like heart racing, sweaty palms? It's not that.
It's not that. And back to what I was saying earlier, if you are noticing, I can't get to that place or I'm not to that place yet, this is not an emergency. There's no rush. Like, this can sit.
I mean, you've waited for the zombie for quite some time. They can wait 72 hours.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's not a game, because sometimes we can think like, oh, now I'm playing games. I'm waiting 3 days to respond. So we could even say like, hey, sorry, it took me a bit to respond. I had to sit with this.
Yeah.
We can start out the text in that way to acknowledge that too. Like, hey, I'm real. I'm not playing games here.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to make one suggestion for a little tweak to that even. I think we could do a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
But I think women are so good
You're so right. You're so right. Yeah. We don't need to say sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for your patience.
Scratch that.
Yeah. But, I mean, that
or
just
not
shows...
even. Or we don't even have to say thanks for your patience. We can say, hey, it took me a while to get back to you because, like...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It can be as direct as that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We don't need
no
to...
excuse needed.
Yeah. For a zombie, I don't think we need to say thanks for your patience because they didn't say thanks for your patience to us. So...
Yeah.
Like,
that's a really good point.
Hey,
here we are.
Like, hi, stranger. Yeah, it did take me a while to get back to you because, yeah.
I'm kind of even wondering, too, even one more step, like maybe we don't even have to acknowledge the time that it's taken because they didn't.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
Right?
So play around with all of those and see what fits best for you.
Yeah.
So these are always, whenever we're giving examples like this is to frame it in your own way, in your own language.
Right.
So we're just spitballing and brainstorming here, but also framing it in a way that fits best for you.
Yeah, and what your values are. Absolutely.
Values, boundaries.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going with these terms. Submarining.
Ooh, what's submarining?
Submarining is another type of ghosting, but it's a little bit different than zombieing. Because with zombieing, you're at least having somewhat of an explanation. It's like a sucky one. It's like a soft, yeah, I've been busy, whatever. But with submarining, they just dive right back in. Like,
no explanation.
No explanation or even acknowledgement that they've been gone.
Goodness.
Is this shit happening out in the real world?
Tell us.
Yeah.
Sounds miserable.
We want to hear your stories.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I also, what could be really fun is like an opportunity for people to call in live.
Yeah,
like
talk about their stories.
Tell us what's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
Stay
tuned. That might be coming. Stay tuned.
Well, this really hits on attachment, because on anxious attachment, I think of people that just like think it's their fault or think there's something wrong with them or need more answers, like need more information. And then when someone just says this, it's like, ouch. Yeah. Like it really shakes them to the core, I think, like really makes a person spiral.
Yes. I'm having a visceral reaction right now because I am remembering you hear this all the time.
Yeah.
But like as a therapist, when I'm doing all this hard attachment work with clients and then somebody does this to my client, it makes me infuriated.
Yeah.
We're doing all of this work. Like, can't we find people in the world that are going to actually help support and show an exception to the storyline and help in healing. And it's just,
and help
it's hard.
create a secure attachment versus like shaking things up so much and reinforcing old wounds.
Right. Sometimes I joke, like, can I get their number? I just like really like to talk to this person. All that being said, I have done some work with people. People think about couples therapy and like it has to be a long-term partner or it has to be, somebody I'm married to. But I've definitely done work with people that are dating, that are trying to figure out, is this somebody I can move forward with or not? Or even just a session or two.
Bring them into a session. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it can be really powerful work. Okay, we're still on this kind of ghosty type flavor, haunting. So haunting, they don't message, but they linger.
So
viewing your stories, liking old posts, and staying visible without engaging. I'm always hearing this. I mean, he looked at my stories.
What does this mean? Yeah, and once again, it can send someone on such a roller coaster of emotions. I once read somewhere that seeing our ex on social media or like, either an ex or a situationship or someone that, you're having this relationship with, seeing them on social media brings up the same feeling in our body as seeing them in person. Because our body can't tell the difference. So it feels the same as running into them at a gas station. So that's why when you see a picture of them or a picture with a new person or that little picture of them popping up, liking your story, it like whoop, that's why your heart races and all of a sudden you get that same body reaction.
Yeah.
Because it feels the same as running into them in person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. And that explains a lot. I'm thinking of a lot of different clients right now who've experienced things like this.
So
and like,
imagine.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought it was over them.
Yeah.
Or
right. So each time they're haunting you, it's like their ghost is like right in front of you. And of course you're having that same body reaction. So what
makes sense of that? It's like they have that other person obviously has some curiosity if they're going to click on your stories and engage.
I mean, sometimes it might need to come down, and this is different for every person. So I never tell someone what to do, but we explore like,
what could you do?
What could you do? So is an option maybe, blocking them. It might come to that point. So if every time it's interfering with your functioning, if it's, leading you on a spiral every time you see them, if it's leaving your nervous system feeling this way every day, then could it be worth it to maybe block them if you notice like, okay, they're not doing anything with it. They're just, it's kind of like a little bit of like self-torture, self-harm.
Yeah. This chips away at me every time I see that. They've looked at my stories even. Or, muting that person for a while. So it's like, okay, I'm not ready to block them, or I don't feel like I need to be that extreme, but I need to take a break from seeing their shit. It doesn't stop them from seeing yours, though, I guess.
That's what I was thinking. If you mute them, can they still see your stories and stuff?
So.
And then there's still...
I think so. So that actually doesn't work for that scenario. But if you don't want to see that picture of who they were out with last weekend, that can help. Yeah.
That's really painful. Oh. And to acknowledge all of this is grief, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people can be really hard on themselves, women especially. Like, I thought I was over him. Why is this such a big deal? Yeah. This whole age of social media and the apps and stuff like that, I think that'll be another episode specifically, but it's just such a different way to engage with people.
Yeah, because it feels, it's like that piece of it feeling equivalent to running into them in person. And now it's like everyone is so accessible. And so you can also harm yourself if you are trying to, move on, but then you keep going on their profile. So like each time that just creates, so much more pain.
I'm also thinking, like, speaking of closure and kind of like tying up this loop, it's like your body is seeing them. When you're seeing them on social media, it feels the same as seeing them in person. However, the missing part is you don't get your chance to say your piece. or ignore them, or it's like a one-sided, just like you're being bombarded and it's not like you get to engage with it, unless you decide to get in their DMs and have a conversation.
But they might not respond.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, one way of releasing could be to just write it all down like a letter and don't send it. So writing a letter to release all of your emotions, all of your thoughts, all the things you wish you could have said to them, and then having maybe some kind of ritual with it, like burn it or, put it away somewhere, but not sending it, just doing it for yourself. Because oftentimes when it's a relationship like that, where some ghosting, haunting, zombieing is happening, it probably wouldn't be ideal to send it to that person because there are some unhealthy patterns already happening here.
Okay, so along these lines of what to do once you've seen somebody or they've seen their stories, whatever, it's kicking up emotions of a old relationship, however it ended. And there might be this urge to reach out to them, but in your wise mind, like that actually wouldn't be beneficial. Okay, so a client recently told me about this app. Super, super cool. It's called No Contact Tracker.
Oh.
Here's what the app does. We don't have a relationship with this app.
We are not endorsed.
Yep, not yet. If you want to, no contact, just reach out. Okay, stay no contact, track your streak, get through the urge before you text. So it's a breakup recovery app built for the hardest part of moving on, not going back. Okay. So what you can do with it, track how long you haven't talked to them, count the days since your last contact, log your urges to reach out.
This sounds so helpful.
So helpful. You can act like you're going to write everything in this app like you were going to text them.
Oh my God.
And then press this button so you get the same feel that you're sending it.
That's so satisfying.
Sit down.
Oh my God.
Like if you're not a writer, but you want to have that same muscle.
No contact.
Oh my
Sponsor
God.
us. I love this.
Real.
Oh my God.
There are it's getting wild up in here. For real. There are all kinds of things you can do. There's like a journaling thing in here. There's also, this is kind of cool, there's like a mirror component. So you can look yourself, like let's say I'm having the urge, I'm going to reach out to him. You can like go into this app and look and see what your face looks like in that moment for like a little like self check-in.
Oh my God.
To record, to have some awareness, some body awareness. This is
incredible. Whoever created this app, I love.
Love. Designed for heartbreak, healing, and self-control. Private space for thoughts you are not ready to send.
Love that. This is way better than writing and burning. I mean, that's an option too, but I love this app.
That feels good too. But yes, there's ways. There's ways out there to get the support you're looking for.
I'm wondering about the person that's doing the haunting, like the other side of the coin. Why do you think they're doing the haunting?
What's wrong with them? Let's send them to our colleagues to figure that out. Why are we haunting? They're obviously curious. There's a curiosity. There's safety, I think, in that. I want to know, but I don't want to engage.
I wonder if it's not always malicious. Like I think this comes from personal experience, but I wonder, being on the other side of it, I wonder sometimes if that person, everything just felt so right on paper, but it just wasn't clicking. And we could make up many stories. I think that's what happens. And sometimes it can be helpful and sometimes it can be dangerous to make up the stories. But I wonder if one thing is like it just wasn't clicking, but there's, still like kind of want to make it work, but it's just like not right. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there could be a million reasons. And back to assumptions.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We could make up a million stories and that's not helpful.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's hard to not know, though.
Yeah.
Really hard. Okay, orbiting. Same as haunting, slightly more active. Consistent presence in your notifications with zero direct contact. So it's not this occasional viewing your stories. It's like, no, they're watching everyone. They're maybe even liking things. So they're in your orbit. They are orbiting around you, but no interaction.
Yeah, it feels unkind.
Yeah. Yeah, to say the least. Breadcrumbing, sporadic, low effort contact that keeps you interested without moving anywhere.
Mm.
That is just cruel and unusual.
And just sounds exhausting.
It does. It does. To draw something out, it's like you wonder, is that person, they just want something casual, whereas maybe you're looking for something more serious, so they're just stringing things along. Sometimes I think maybe it's somebody who's seeing a few different people, and so they're just breadcrumbing a lot of people to see what becomes, what's going to come to fruition.
I love what you said earlier about the way of, if someone zombies you, about how to respond. I think this applies to all of this. So if we think about, to any of these, how do we handle this? How do we respond? Yeah. It's don't do anything immediately. Yep. Don't respond immediately. Don't follow up with them immediately. Like if they are sliding into your DMs or they are liking your photos or whatever they're doing, don't act on it immediately. First, really step away, put your phone away somewhere, and get really grounded. Get back into yourself. Step out of that fight or flight and get into your intuition. Get grounded. Maybe talk to someone that helps you get grounded. Right. Like if you have a friend that's like a really grounding force, or maybe go on that walk and get into your intuition. But the first step is stop.
Yep.
Stop, drop, and walk. Yeah.
I love that. Stop, drop, and walk.
Stop, drop, and walk.
Yep. Walk it out. Yeah. I also really encourage women, well, the men I see too, everybody.
Yeah.
Get clear on what it is that you are wanting
out
of dating. Sometimes we don't know when we go into it, but spending some time with yourself, figuring out, like, what is it that I'm working toward here? Am I hoping for just a casual, is it a situationship, which is fine if that's what you're looking for.
Sure.
Is it I'm seeking a long-term partner?
Is it just a hookup?
Is it just a hookup? Absolutely. And our needs and desires change, but like checking in with yourself from time to time. And then instead of, this is a big one. I feel like this happens a lot. Instead of chameleoning, I like to say, into what it is other people want from you, you being the one with the clear expectations, boundaries, container to see if that person fits into what it is that you are looking for, not morphing into what they want.
For sure. I always urge to make a list too of like, what do I want this person to be like? How do I want to feel around them? What is the best version of myself I want to be around them?
That's good.
What kinds of things do I want to be doing with them? What do I want them to be like? How do I want them to respond to me when I'm experiencing these things? So thinking about yourself, and then like, how do I want to show up as my best self in this relationship, and like, how would they help to kind of bring that out and to think about.
Right. And if all of those things aren't present when you first get together, because likely they won't be, what are the things that I absolutely will not budge on?
Yeah, deal breakers.
What are the deal breakers? And what are the things that, you're willing to try and grow with somebody around,
Sure.
Yeah. So getting really clear.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Okay. Couple other quick terms that are kind of interesting. Benching. Keeping someone as a backup option while pursuing others. So maybe a reason why you are breadcrumbing, like I said, is because you're benching too. You're seeing, and I mean, it's fine to date many different people as long as you're clear that that's what you're up to.
Yeah.
Like.
And sometimes, people don't want to do that. Maybe a people pleaser is dating many people but doesn't want to say that because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but then it actually does hurt someone's feeling if you're benching and breadcrumbing.
Yes.
So, please be direct and open.
Last one is paperclipping. I wonder who came up with these terms. These are so funny.
I love it.
But it's helpful to frame these experiences that I'm sure so many of you are resonating with.
I want to be in therapy, like with a client and be like, sounds like you're being paperclipped.
Watch out, Kamila's client.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Yeah.
Now you know ahead of time what she's up to. Paperclipping, periodic reappearance, seemingly just to confirm they still have an effect on you. Like we're still clipped together.
Oh
like
my
this testing
gosh.
almost, right?
This feels gaslighty too.
Yeah, it does. And while these things obviously affect the person that it's happening to, I just want to make it really clear and a reminder, like, that's their shit, not yours. Like, they are playing out their own wounds and unresolved stuff in this relationship. And yes, it hurts you, but it's not about you. It rarely is about you.
Their stuff, their wounds are them playing with yours, and it's this whole dynamic. And yeah, it's both.
Yep. Dating is hard. So just to name that, those of you that are out there doing this, like, my hat's off to you. I know it's hard work, and it's also worthwhile because back to how we started this episode, like, love is what it's all about, and we're all looking for connection and community and doing our best. So
take good care of yourself within this. Recognize, okay, even if I have known this person for a date or two, it's okay to experience grief if it doesn't work out, because it's not even about them. It's about the future that you maybe imagined or got excited about. Like, oh, maybe finally this will be that person and I can finally, start that family or start this next chapter of my life. So it's, if we think like, oh, I'm so stupid, I got excited about this person, to recognize, oh, I got excited about this dream. And it's okay to get excited about your dream and what you hope for yourself.
That's right. Yep. You are worthy. You are worthwhile.
Yeah.
You are loved.
Keep moving through.
Cheers.
Thanks for hanging with us on This Is Not Therapy. If you enjoyed today's conversation, come back next time for more real talk, unfiltered moments, and maybe a little bit of laughter. Until then, take care of yourself, and don't forget, this is not